how one small shift in perspective can help you to weather negative emotions more easily and even turn them into positive parts of your life. Researchers studying the differences in emotional experiences between the East and the West have come across a curious paradox. People from East Asia tend to report more negative emotions than European Americans, and yet research suggests that they have much lower levels of anxiety and depression. Now, there are a number of potential reasons for this, but one of the simplest can be found in our differing perceptions of emotions in time. Emotions in the West are often experienced as persistent and pervasive, meaning that when you're in the grip of them, it's hard to imagine anything else, anything better. We get stuck in negativity and rumination. Our present emotional struggles overwhelm and occupy all of our thoughts, strangling our self-efficacy and blocking our ability to look forward and move on. By contrast, as you'll probably know if you've ever practiced mindfulness, the traditional Eastern take is that everything is transient, temporary. It's taken for granted that negative emotions won't last, that they'll eventually be succeeded by positive ones, which is a perspective that makes them much easier to tolerate and significantly improves emotion regulation. It's a little like those expected train time update boards you get on the London Underground. These things that tell you that your train is coming in 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 7 minutes or whatever. I once read that complaints about waiting times went through the floor when they put these babies up, even though the delays were no shorter. Ultimately, when we know our discomfort is coming to an end, it gets infinitely easier to tolerate. So what can we do to switch to the Eastern view of emotions in time? Interestingly, it can help to imagine your life on a literal timeline, with today in front of you, yesterday just to the left, tomorrow to the right, and then to imagine the emotional ups and downs over that period of time. If you do this when you're struggling with a negative emotion, you'll be able to see a little like points plotted on a graph, the rise of the negative emotion leading up to the present moment, and you'll be able to imagine a decrease in the future. Or if you prefer words to mental images, then you can fall back on a classic when times get tough. This too shall pass, because it will.